And we are back. Welcome to another FPL video. It is time for me to unveil my plans for the upcoming game week 4 in the Premier League this season. Now, for those of you who missed my pre-international break video, you would have missed that I actually played my wildcard on the Sunday night as soon as the Manchester United-Liverpool game ended. That is because I knew I had a pretty poor start to the season. I knew I needed to make changes, and I knew ahead of an international break where a lot of price changes normally happen, it is good to get the players that you want into your team early, and that has proven to be the case because the likes of Haaland and the likes of Salah have both increased in price again since the start of this international break. And for those of you that are coming onto FPL this morning, you may have noticed that some of your players have dropped down in price as well. Thankfully for me, no one's come back from the international break in a position that they weren't already in. We already knew Palmer had pulled out the England squad. We already knew that Van de Ven was going to be a doubt for the Arsenal game. And me, personally, when I put Kepa into my squad, knew that he was going to be unavailable for the Chelsea game because obviously he is on loan from Chelsea. So I'm actually not making any further changes from the wild card that I played on that Sunday night, which I'm really pleased with. Now, those of you that are sitting there this morning probably thinking, oh my God, the likes of Quansah and Kunku, if you had them at the start of your season, those have now dropped a full 0.3 million down. Don't fret, because even if you still want to play your wild card, what you can make use of is this page on the website, which is something that's updated every single day. And that tells you what all the price changes are from the last game week to this game week. So you can literally scroll down and you can see that obviously even yesterday we've had fallers for the likes of Lewis Hall, Jacob Murphy, Timo Werner, etc, etc. Now, I'm not saying put these players in your team, although someone like Amari Hutchinson, whose price has gone down to 5.4, he's starting every single game for Ipswich. And basically you can scroll through all of these and actually pick up some bargains. Now, obviously Nicholas Füllkrug is probably unavailable for West Ham's game this week, but West Ham's fixture isn't particularly good this week. Going forward, their fixtures get better. So actually, if you're someone that is looking to play a wild card for this game week 4, looking at the ones that have actually dropped in price, a Füllkrug, a Bruno Fernandes, an Eberechi Eze, a Phil Foden, any of them sort of players that have dropped in price, even though some of your players have dropped in price, you could actually pick up some bargains to compensate for the ones that you've missed out on. Yes, the likes of Mohamed Salah, Rico Lewis have gone up significantly now. Erling Haaland's gone up by 0.2 as well. But there's still gaps in the market for you to still get yourself the best possible squad going into game week 4. And what I have done in terms of my overall plan is, if we now go back to the actual pick team screen, is I have picked a squad that is going to see me through for the next 4 weeks. So this is where we are right now. We're at the start of game week 4. We've got game week 4, game week 5, game week 6, game week 7, and then another international break. And what's important to note about that is that if we don't make any transfers from now until the end of game week 7, we have 4 free transfers to play in the next international break. Now, obviously, I can't do it the way I did a wild card, whereby I can make the changes on the Sunday night, because obviously then you run the risk of, again, players getting injured, etc., during the international break. I would have to be doing it on the Thursday night or this morning, as it were, in 4 weeks' time. However, that's why I've set up this squad the way I've set up this squad. In terms of the game week for this week, this is a phenomenal squad in my opinion. For Bruggen at home to Ipswich, Canate at home to Forest, Robinson at home to West Ham, Digne at home to Everton, Palmer against Bournemouth, Salah against Forest, Eze against Leicester, Rodgers against Everton, Minter against Ipswich, Pedro against Ipswich, and Haaland against Brentford. I never had any intention of any of these 4 players playing this week. But once these Brighton players have played their 2 easy games against Ipswich and against Forest, Bournemouth, should I say, then have games against Southampton and Leicester. So I'm already pre-prepared for future game weeks with players that I have no intention of playing over the next 2 weeks. Equally with Kilman. They've got Fulham, they've got Chelsea, then they've got Brentford, and then they've got Ipswich. So I've got Kilman ready for when I want him later on. And obviously Van de Ven was never going to play him against Arsenal, but just a good 4.5 million midfielder going forward. I will obviously play him against Brentford at home. May make my decisions regarding Manchester United and Brighton as and when it comes to it. But this is a squad that I'm intending to make no changes for the next 4 weeks. So if you are someone that is playing a wild card today or tomorrow morning before this game week starts, I implore you to bear that in mind. Don't just pack your team with players that have made a good start. Make use of the rule change. Build a team that is going to see you through to that next international break. Get yourself a nice chunk of points now, and in come 4 weeks' time, you may not need to make 4 transfers. You might only need to make 2 or 3. Then it's another 4-week period until the next international break, where you could potentially end up saving up 5. Then you don't have to start worrying about wild cards and thinking, oh no, I've made so many mistakes, because you've always going to have a squad prepared for multiple game weeks. As for Dave's team, which is what I obviously experimented with this initially, his team's kind of muddied, because I did give him Kwanzaa, I did give him Nkunku, I did give him Castagna, and I did give him a whole bunch of other players that just ultimately didn't end up playing and have now ended up getting suspended. I have made the 3 free transfers I had available for him. I've brought in Ahmad, I've brought in Dunk, and I've brought in Allison just to try and rebalance his team. Hopefully, Kwanzaa probably won't play, but hopefully Nkunku gets some minutes. Hopefully Solanke gets some minutes, which means I won't have to rely on Cucurella or Castagna coming in. But ultimately, I could play another wild card for Dave as well, but it just seems a bit stupid, in my opinion, to play 2 wild cards on 2 accounts where one account is obviously going to have a stronger team than the other. I would end up just building near enough the exact same team, which is not the point of having these 2 separate teams to experiment with. So finally, I think the final decision is, of course, do you captain Salah or do you captain Haaland? I'm personally captaining Salah because the way that Brentford defend, I think it's going to be harder for Haaland to get goals this week, whereas I think Salah could very easily have a field day against Nottingham Forest, which is why I am going for him. Let me know, as always, all of your changes down in the comment section below. Don't forget, of course, that yesterday we did launch the Champions League fantasy football, so you can get yourself involved in that with the code available on your screen right now. You can already see in the background we've got a whole host of people already in the SO99 League for Champions League, so make sure you are joining that one. A new video for that will be available for you on Tuesday morning ahead of the launch of the Champions League for a brand new season. Of course, you still have time to join my league for normal FPL as well. The link to that will, as always, be available in the description of this video. And I think that's about it, really. I mean, don't forget to check out my Fantasy Challenge video. That is going to be available for you at 12 p.m. lunchtime, as it always is. It's a defenders and goalkeepers only challenge today, so make sure you check that one out at 12 o'clock. And like I said, don't forget to check out all of the other FPL content available for you on this channel over the course of this year. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with my Game Week 4 review and Game Week 5 preview for you, like I say, either on Monday or Tuesday. Whether or not I do 2 separate videos for the Champions League and the Premier League, haven't really figured that out yet. And I definitely think I have capacity to do it all in one video, but we'll see. I'll make that decision at the end of the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.